Hello and welcome to our 20th episode of the SaaSOps show. If you're new here, we talk about SaaS management, automation, security, office infrastructure, and all things corporate IT. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I am joined by my awesome co-host, Brian. Hi, Brian.
Hi. Thank you to everyone joining us on our 20th episode. We wanted to do something special for this one, which is why you're finding us probably, maybe, on LinkedIn Live. Today, Justine and I are going to be sharing the nitty-gritty on our zero-touch IT journey at BetterCloud. If you work in IT, you've undoubtedly envisioned a world where you don't even have to do anything.
What would you say you do here?
Things just happen and people get what they need. Everybody thinks you're a wizard and you get to sit and eat Doritos all day or something. I don't know, Cheez-Its for me.
I want to be IT Gandalf. When it comes to zero-touch IT, the most important and visible touch points have always been onboarding and offboarding. And before we started on this journey, many teams at BetterCloud had lots of manual steps that they needed to go through for either of these processes. We created an offboarding procedure that utilized BetterCloud, the tool, to immediately remove access to the most important applications, transfer documents, calendars, and all that fun stuff. We also set up some workflows that granted all full-time employees the basic access they needed when they started. But good wasn't good enough for us.
Heck no. We wanted to be awesome. Not only did we create onboarding workflows for every major department, we created automations that accounted for mid-life cycle changes where people moved departments or they changed titles. And we also split up our offboarding workflows to address access and archiving in separate instances. We went from a bunch of monolithic workflows that tried to do everything at once to a bunch of ninja. I tried to say ninja and nimble at the same time. Nimble, agile, ninja-like workflows that did lots of little things.
Yeah, ninja.
Ninja. Mm-hmm.
You heard it here first. Part of the changes we made to onboarding included finding a way to do true zero-touch hardware provisioning. Before this, we were purchasing computers, having them shipped to our team, set up, and then shipped back out. What was somewhat a simple and straightforward process when everyone was in person in an office became a costly time suck. We have now started buying more hardware upfront that our supplier holds for us, and we've built upon our identity platform to eliminate the need for local user accounts. So we went from Dennis being surrounded by laptops in his apartment to not that, to something that's the opposite of that. All of our computers just go from the warehouse to the person. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful
magic.
Thing.
There has to be
IT
a better
Gandalf.
way. IT Gandalf. You just sort of point and click, or you like point and don't even click. Basically, we combine the power of our identity provider and our hardware supplier to create this amazing employee experience where we drop ship computers to employees and they log in with their existing single sign-on credentials, just right out of the bat, right out of the box. You can't come out of the bat. Oh, I guess that's baseball. I don't know anything about sports. Okay.
We
anyway,
don't do sports on this channel.
Like out of the bat. This means less hands-on work for our team, less stress, a lot less money spent on shipping, and a fun experience for employees where they can set up their new machine all on their own. I used to work at Apple. Several people on our team used to work at Apple. I can tell you, people really love that unboxing experience, as all of those YouTube videos with like kids opening toys getting like hundreds of millions of views and probably a lot of sponsorship and monetization on their channel, things that I only dream of, those can attest to.
Yeah, so if you want to sponsor us for any unboxing videos, we would happily do that. That's what we're saying.
Money, please.
Oh, no, there's no money.
Oh, my bad. No problem.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. I'll just destroy this office.
Money, please.
At BetterCloud IT, we are hyper-focused on the experience that our colleagues have as our internal customers. One of the utmost priorities as IT practitioners is to make sure teams are getting the access and the tools that they need when they need it, so that they can be more efficient, productive, and successful. Getting to zero-touch hardware provisioning was an initiative that helped us achieve this, as well as save time for our team directly, freeing up their bandwidth to work on other automation projects. Brian, what are some of the high-level challenges that the team encountered when working towards this initiative?
Yeah, I mean, I think even just you just take a step back and like start with the fundamentals. What was really important was establishing kind of like what we already were doing and where we needed to go from there. So getting to know what we were doing was taking a look at the workflows. But more importantly, it was connecting with stakeholders in the process. We're talking about doing workflows that affect like the entire company, including a bunch of different teams. So there's no point in like doing all of that work if you're not starting by talking to the teams and the stakeholders on those teams themselves to find out what it is they actually really need. So a lot of the time and actually like a lot of the effort that was spent doing this wasn't necessarily always figuring out a technical challenge. It was time just like spent interfacing with different people and saying, hey, like we add, people who start to this group X, Y, and Z, this Slack channel, we give them this Salesforce permission set. Does all of this make sense? Is there anything that's missing right now in this process? And I think that was like really like, I mean, it's where we spent most of our time and effort.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was very important because you're building relationships, you're building trust with different departments because they know that you're coming to them to get information. You're not making assumptions about their workflows. So it's a really important part of becoming a strategic IT team, I think.
Yeah. And then for the other side of things was just figuring out like where all of the little pieces that we could tweak to reduce or eliminate the number of like actual clicks or the actual manual steps we were looking at. So I think the other part of this was just looking at where all of the little clicks and where the individual efforts that we were spending time to do are. So documenting all of the actual little steps and then seeing it like each one of these stages, is there something that we can do to eliminate us having to do this or to put the control back into the hands of the person responsible for this process, like HR. So that was really just, and then, the last part of it was just making sure that from a hardware standpoint, we could actually get like all of the stuff we needed sent out by working with our distributor, which that was just a lot of negotiation.
And obviously hardware is just one piece of the puzzle. We've used our MDMs, Jamf and Intune to accomplish this, but what else is possible? We're working on ensuring that our HRIS can be used to automatically deprovision users without IT's intervention. Beyond that, we're also looking at conversational AI tools that will help our IT team solve tickets. Brian, when you think about that project, what do you envision as the long-term gains?
Well, I love them gains. I think the gains are really, at least twofold. We're talking about the experience of employees, and we're talking about the experience and the work that our team has. So from the endpoint, from the end user experience, we're trying to make this as easy as possible for somebody to get help. In a bad parallel, upside down universe, when you go to a company and you start and you're like, hey, I need this. And they're like, oh, you actually asked the wrong person. And this isn't how you submit an IT ticket. Like, what the heck, stupid user.
It can't repair your hard drive after you download an infected program, Patch Adams.
Nick, the computer guy, he'll fix your computer, then he's gonna make fun of you.
Obviously, we don't do that here at BetterCloud. But we do want to make sure that the friction that's involved in getting access to what you need is reduced as little as possible. So part of that is getting to meeting the user where they are. So people ask questions in Slack. Everybody loves a DM. We have a channel where people post in Slack today, but enabling this conversational AI tool will help answer those questions in those channels automatically so that people get faster answers and we don't have to necessarily even do anything. And also we have a few different departments that are responsible for answering questions of employees. We have people team, we have our IT team, us right here, and off screen. And we have a data team, we have business systems, we have all these people. And, when you start at a company, you don't necessarily know who to go to ask these things. So a tool like this can help centralize all of that knowledge. Our side of things, on the IT side of things, it just means less work for us. We don't have to do as much. We can sit back and watch the robots solve the problems for us, which is really like what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, didn't you have a friend that had a very good quote about this?
Oh yeah, one of my old coworkers, she used to say, like, let robots do what robots are good at and let humans do what humans are good at. Robots are great at like serving up knowledge and like responding to questions and like doing like resetting passwords. Humans like don't want to sit there and just like click like reset password and all that stuff. Humans want to come up with like new fun like snack ideas and like
Nail
think
polish
about
color names.
nail polish color names and how to automate everything. And so, just let humans do what humans are good at.
Yeah, I really like that. Thank you, Brian. And thank you to our audience for tuning in on LinkedIn. We'll be discussing many more topics like this at Altitude. What's Altitude, you ask? Well, it's BetterCloud's annual conference for SaaSOps professionals, just like you and me. This year's theme is taking IT to new heights, and it's all about making IT more strategic through automation.
Altitude is the best, and not just for the content, but really for the people. It's the people. This year it's taking place November 2nd through 4th, and you may have heard of him before. Rainn Wilson of The Office fame, if you're an Office fan like me, and Steve Wozniak of Apple, if you're an Apple fan like me, are keynote speakers. It's almost as if I have picked two people that I wanted to see myself. Who knows? I'm not saying it didn't happen. So you can register at altitude.bettercloud.com. Don't miss it.
See you there.
Bye.
Bye.